The man gently patted his female supervisor, and instead of getting upset, she actually seemed pleased. But the boss saw the whole thing happen. He had always been against office romances, so he used it as an excuse to fire the man on the spot. Paul packed up his things and prepared to leave the company, but suddenly remembered he had left his phone upstairs. So he went back and unexpectedly walked straight into a crime scene. Paul was so scared his legs nearly gave out, but luckily, the killer didn't notice him. He fled in panic and ran to the break room to call the police, only to bump into another coworker who was still working late. Paul immediately told him what had happened. At the same time, the killer cut off all the company's security cameras and internet lines, then went to the records room and planted incendiary bombs inside, planning to burn all the files to the ground. Meanwhile, Paul and his coworker tried to escape the building, but found the elevators were already out of service. They rushed to the emergency exit, only to discover the fire doors had been locked from the outside as well. To get out as fast as possible, Paul suggested splitting up. He told his coworker to try calling the police through the network, while he went back to his desk to get his phone. But everything they did was already being watched by the killer. The killer suddenly appeared behind him. Paul noticed in time. To save his coworker, he rushed into the storage room and dug through a drawer until he found a weapon. But when he hurried back, there was no one there anymore. Paul quickly ran into another office. He lit a sheet of white paper, trying to trigger the fire alarm. But no matter how long he waited, nothing happened. Then he noticed that people were still working late in the building across the street. So he set fire to a trash can and knocked it over. The flames instantly caught the curtains. Finally, a man in the opposite building noticed something was wrong. Paul immediately made the gesture for calling the police. The man understood at once, but just then, the killer smelled the smoke. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and rushed toward the burning office. On the way, he ran straight into Paul, but didn't stop. Putting out the fire was now his top priority. As the flames were finally brought under control, the man in the opposite building also gave up on calling the police.